first registration box.
Stopped for lunch, and there's been a really gentle rain falling for the past couple hours. Pretty manageable.
So Lower Michigan, I'd only been to once in my life prior to the hike, and I was pretty impressed by it. I didn't really know what to expect. It's fairly flat in comparison to other parts of the trail, but still has plenty of terrain and still has that North Woodsy feel. This is a typical Michigan forest, just north of where I live now. It's kind of a mix of, you have some northern pine species and also a mix of oaks in there. It's pretty sandy soil in a lot of areas. So despite being relatively flat, there's still quite a bit of terrain and the kind of challenging hiking that I enjoy.
So I've got my first dispersed campsite set up. I've never dispersed camp before, and on my way here I realized maybe I should have practiced that a little. And I was super intimidated by it because in Minnesota, in the North Woods, the woods are super duper dense. You don't see clearings like this very much. This is pretty sweet. It's nice to be able to, hike as far as I can hike that day, and then just look for maybe a nearby water source and a good tree to hang my bear rope from. I'm having to get creative right off the bat here because there are no rocks for me to throw my bear rope. And I have taken some sand, some of the sandy soil they have, and put it in one of my dry bags. And I'm gonna try to use this. We'll see how it goes.
I'm so cozy. And this tent feels like an old friend and smells like a Northwoods cabin. That's the Swainson's thrush. Isn't it beautiful?
I have never seen this type of scat before, and it goes all the way back into this tree. Let's see if we can. Anybody have any idea what that is? Maybe it's not scat. It sure looks like scat though. That's cold. Getting my feet wet for the first time this trip.
So the hiking is really starting to feel like home. We Minnesota hikers are used to wet feet, let's just say that. So I've been going through this marshy area for the past couple hours, And to be honest, my feet are very happy when they're wet. Probably because that's how I got my start hiking. So they're totally cool with this. Okay, well apparently that was a coastal plain marsh and contains species from the Atlantic coast. They're unsure how they get here, so that's pretty cool. Also home to Massasauga. That's really funny because for some reason I knew about this rattlesnake and also that it's, as they say here, increasingly rare. But even so, for some reason when I was going through that last stretch of woods, I was keeping my eyes peeled on the leaves because it felt sneaky. I don't know what kind of egg that is. Goose maybe? Duck? Somebody stole it and then didn't even eat it. Hey guys, I have a crazy case of hat hair going on right now. And end of day 2. Let's start with the most important thing, shall we? Bug report. Okay, the midges are out. Luckily, they are not the blood-sucking kind, just the tear-drinking kind. Very slow also, so easy to out-hike. The mosquitoes, barely out. I think I've seen 3 of them, and none of them bit me, so totally cool with me. Also, good news, the dragonflies are out, so they're on it. The busy bees were all over the marsh today, busy pollinating away. And the butterflies have arrived. So there's a lot of action going on, and I feel like I'm seeing the buds grow each day. There's a lot of color suddenly in the canopy. A lot of flowering trees too. This is beautiful. Western Michigan chapter, you guys do a phenomenal job of trail maintenance. I have to say, this trail is so fun to hike, so fast. The sandy soil that you guys have here in the Lower Peninsula, I'm not sure how long the sandy soil lasts. I hope a long time, because it's really fun to hike. I'm just cruising, and my body is adjusting better than I think it would have, so I'm appreciating it. And having such a great time that as of day 2, I feel like I did not make a terrible mistake quitting my job and dedicating almost all of my life savings to making this hike happen. It's feeling like absolutely the right decision. So having a great time. Cheesy grits with corn, red pepper, chili pepper, chives, and shrimp. Eating pretty good out here. Alright, day 3, back on the trail. Had to do a road walk out of White Cloud back to the trail. I'm sitting on the bridge over the White River right now, which is beautiful. There are some real benefits to going into town. And there is a cold wind blowing today. It was freezing in camp, so sorry, didn't shoot any video because I was scrambling to get moving. That's the only way to stay warm out here. My goal for this week was really just to do kind of a training week, like very low mileage, let my body adjust gradually to the punishment. So I was only supposed to do 8 miles the past 2 days. I did a little bit more of that yesterday, so I can do 8 miles today if I want. And I might, because we're supposed to get rain, and then tomorrow, thunderstorms. So the Northwoods in May are awesome because you can really see things that you will not be able to see even a month from now. So you can see very far. And because of that, this is a classic thing that happens when you're out in the woods.
is you'll see a dark shape off in the distance, like that one. You see it right there? I'll zoom in. As you're hiking along, you're like, is that a bear? That's not a bear. Is that a bear? No, that's not a bear. That's not. Is it a bear? But this one was very convincing because of the way it kind of looked like the way that my dog does kind of his sphinx sit. So seriously, see, look at that. I mean, that looks pretty much like a bear. But it's not. It's just a log, like always. Got all my layers on because it's been a little hard staying warm in this. I'm gonna get back in the tent. There was a humdinger of a storm last night. The wind finally quieted down, which was nice, and I woke up super hot because I was wearing all of my layers. Really heavy rain started to fall, and the problem with heavy rain is that it's just loud on your tent, so it's hard to sleep because it's really loud. So I wasn't really sleeping, and then I could hear the thunder coming. And then there was one really close lightning strike, like over there somewhere. That always wakes you up too. So I think I may have slept from like 9 until midnight, and then I was up from like midnight until 4. And then I slept a little bit, but not enough. Not enough for today to not suck. I am absolutely dragging my feet on getting out of this tent. I don't know what I think. Every time this happens to me, I'm always like, you know, give it 5 more minutes. This is gonna stop. It's gonna stop in 5 minutes. It wouldn't even matter if it did, because with this kind of rain that's been coming down so steadily for so long, the forest is gonna be soaked. Although there's not much underbrush here. Ooh, positive. Hadn't thought of that yet. At least not in the trail. There's underbrush, but the trail is totally clear. Oh, that's good. Okay. So I'm just sitting here doing some magical thinking. See, it's slowing down a little. Nope, it's not. I'm delusional. Hiking in the rain isn't even that bad, but this kind of like steady soaking rain, there's really no defense against it. You're gonna get wet. Now the question is, how long am I gonna sit in this tent? It worked. It stopped raining. I dilly-dallied and shilly-shallied so long, so good, that the rain stopped. So I get to hike dry for, I'm gonna predict about 5 minutes. It's doing, no, rain, stay away, man. Rain, stay away. Watcha. That's gonna come across real dorky, I think. Oh, and there's something about a wet forest. Smells great, looks super green. These red pines look red when they're wet. Now I understand why they're called red pines.
In the Manistee National Forest is this old schoolhouse, which at one time served as the headquarters, and that's because this is roughly where the halfway point of the trail is. So back in 1980, when the trail formed, they acted out of this building for the first, I think, 20 years or so. The headquarters has since moved, but this schoolhouse is still there. It's available for hikers to rent for an evening if they choose.
Because the schoolhouse is considered the halfway point on the trail, that as of that road just a ways down the trail, I've arrived at the halfway point of the North Country Trail. So, okay. What I'm trying to attempt is now feeling really huge. Got like 35 miles down, you know, basically 2,365 more to go. Look, guys, this pond is serving tea. Just kidding. That's all the tannins in the water from the decaying matter, which can be pretty hard on filters. Well, I have to be honest. I feel like $1 million today. $1 million bills. have this pattern on backpacking trips, multi-day backpacking trips, that like day 4, usually I feel like a trash heap. I just don't have any energy, super worn out. Apparently that day was yesterday. I'm hopeful. Could still be tomorrow, but today I feel like $1,000,000. And look at this, beautiful. This is Bear Creek. It is running so clear. Check this out, you guys. I showed you the tea-colored water earlier. Look at that, totally clear. The first creek I crossed today was so swollen, you saw a video of that. And the trail has become an outlet for the creek. And it was so choked with silt from all the runoff that pretty sure that would have been even worse than the marsh water for the filter. So this, I was afraid this creek was gonna be the same way. Getting clear, cold, delicious water. Super grateful. It's the little things on the trail. It really is. The skies keep threatening to rain and then not doing it. I feel like I've done, you know, early season trips before and late season. I've even done some winter camping. But these mornings are cold, man. It's cold out here. But that's okay, because it really motivates you to get moving. For the first time, I slept with my water filter last night. One forecast said it was getting down to 40. Another said it was getting down to 37, but with like 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. So I think my rule for this trip will be basically if it's gonna get 5 degrees within freezing, the filter comes into the tent with me. So little by little, the trees are leafing out. It's like actually kind of hard to see this lake because the leaves, there we go, you can see. They're coming, they're coming. Apparently Sir Dick Spatcher, I hope I have that correct, from Toledo, is also hiking all the way to the western terminus. That's pretty awesome. He's like 2.5 days ahead of me. I doubt I'm gonna catch up to him. Who knows though? Who knows? That would be cool to meet him. I had no idea that somebody else was doing it. I'm dying to know where he started. I'm wondering if he started in New York. Well guys, this is Tom, trail name MacGyver, and he's MacGyvering me back to Nichols Lake where I forgot something.
It happens.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom.
You're welcome.
And they gave me chocolate, which I did not bring enough with me, and I'm so grateful. Had a nice break at Walk Up Lake and then started hiking and went to grab this thing out. This is this nice little Joby tripod that I'm using to kind of put the camera up in stable locations so that the video I'm shooting isn't all like jostly and kind of annoying to watch. So when I went to grab this guy, he wasn't there. And I realized I had left him behind at Nichols Lake, which is basically a mile back. So I was, you know, looking at having to hike all the way back there and then back again to here. So that would be like an extra 2 miles on a day when I'm trying to do 13 miles. I was so mad at myself, you guys. So I've had kind of mixed feelings about doing the videos. It takes a lot of extra work. Takes a lot of, you know, coordinating. I have someone who's editing the videos for me, and I need to send him memory cards full of the video. So it's just extra things to be doing on trail. And you know, I guess I am worried that it's going to take away from the experience. That's not what I've heard from other folks who do trail videos. They say that it helps you kind of be mindful of the hiking in a different way, which sounds really good to me. But today I'm frustrated. However, I've only made it 4 hours or 4 miles in 4 hours today because of this. So I'm way behind schedule and I got to get hiking. It's literally half an hour after I just said I was going to go and hike. It's just too pretty here. This is Leaf Lake. I gotta stop and look at it for a second. Something loves to poop on this bridge. Poop, poop. Wait, there's more. Poop, poop. Oh, there's a little bit there. Big one right there. I don't know what kind of scat that is. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible scatologist. I've reached where I want to camp for the night next to a beautiful pond down there. But I have to be 200 feet away from that. Now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of scouting for flat-ish territory. And then the other thing I'm doing is looking for any widow makers up above. And usually that means just like an actual dead branch hanging above where you want to put your tent that, you know, if a strong wind came up would potentially dislodge and drop on top of you. But I also really don't like camping under dead trees, and that whole tree right there is dead. But what I'm figuring out is that it's almost impossible to find a spot without a dead tree nearby. All right, so I think I found my spot for the night. The other thing I try to avoid is camping right on an animal trail. But to be honest, they're kind of all over the place, so hopefully no one comes wandering directly onto my tent. So I do 4 camp chores right when I hit camp, because when I'm exhausted, if I let them go, they just become so much harder. So I set up the tent, I blow up my sleeping pad, I get my rope up to hang my food, even though I'm not going to put my food up yet, but I get the rope up while it's still light out, and I dig my cat hole. So then I'm settled. I mean, look at that. Pretty spectacular, right?
Okay, last night was painful. I just pulled up the temperature. It's 33 right now. And it's definitely been warming up since the sun started coming up at like 5. So that makes more sense now why last night was so hard. Pretty sure it got below freezing last night. And I just could not stay warm. I think I made one major mistake yesterday, which is I did not, when we had that nice sunshine yesterday for the first time all week, I didn't get my down quilt spread out in the sunshine to dry out, because even though it didn't get wet, the temperatures have just been perfect for condensation, so I think it's damp. I don't know, I just felt like I had on my back and on my hips, I had these cold spots, and it was just leaching the heat out of my body. So this is like the first time I felt warm all night. And now it's time to get out of bed and put on cold socks.
Okay, it's not as bad as you think. Okay, it's pretty bad. Check that out. Get to cross this whole marsh on this amazing boardwalk. Well done, Spirit of the Woods chapter. I think I have that right. And I'm feeling heaps better now that I'm hiking. So I'm warm, I'm happy. Hiking cures everything. So this is Merle, he's a volunteer. Merle, are you a volunteer with Spirit of the Woods chapter?
Yes, I am.
And they're fixing the frost heaving, I'm guessing? Is this just from the winter time?
From the trees coming down.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Trees came down and crushed the boardwalk.
Yikes. Well, hey there.
Hey. So, about, I think maybe a mile and a half to the car.
First resupply box of the trip is acquired. Thank you, Joan, for your help.
Well, what are hikers for?
I'm gonna get to slack pack the rest of the trail today. And are you coming with me for that, or are you?
I'll have to. I'll go park at Bowman Lake and walk back to meet you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll get to do the last section of today's hiking with a lighter pack, which sounds good too. Slack packing and it feels so good. So Joan just dropped me off back where she picked me up on Jenks Road. Got the beautiful Jenks Creek running here. The last, I think it's about 6 miles of my hike today, I get to do light and easy. Let's go.
We are just doing a little hiking to get ready for some bigger hike. We hike this every year.
Nice.
So we do the 100-mile patch every year.
So what's the bigger hike that you guys are doing?
We're gonna go to Peru and do the Inca Trail.
That is so amazing. When do you get to do that?
September.
That's great. What are your names?
Kurt and Connie.
Hi, Kurt. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Annie.
So what provoked you to do this?
You know, I just started backpacking like many of us do, and then I thru-hiked our hometown trail, which is about 300 miles. I actually did a little bit more than that, and then realized, oh, I want to do one of the big guys. But I love the North Country. Instead of going out to the AT or the PCT, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this one, but only half of it.
We have a friend that has done the whole trail.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, she was the first woman to do it.
Oh, wow.
So
Who's that?
Joan Young.
She's actually hiking back from Bowman Lake to meet me right now. She's hosting me this weekend on a rest day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell her you met Kurt and Connie.
Okay.
We're in the same writing group. We know her well. So,
Oh, wonderful. Will do.
It's kind of peppery, so we don't probably need a lot.
Watercress.